Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as per usual. And we are going to dive right into the market analysis and to see what's going on today. We had a bit of a down day today. Not much, to be honest. I would call it flat, flat to positive, if anything, because the dip that we got earlier today was essentially bought back up, almost next to no dip. A lot of people are calling this a general. I'm very funny to look on Twitter because you could see how bullish people are and how bullish the sentiment is at the moment. So, or at the moment, they called this little dip that we got, this small gap down, a generational buying opportunity. Because they said we're never going to see these levels again. We're just going to keep going up. So essentially, the wave one is going to extend forever, or sorry, this is going to be a fifth wave extension forever, right? But again, we're obviously going to get a dip pretty soon. It's just a matter of timing. I don't know if it's going to happen next week. My best guess would be probably not this week. Maybe it will happen next week. But again, I've been saying this the last couple of weeks. So it'll be this week. It'll be next week. I don't really know. I'm just following the count. And when it does start, right, we'll know where our targets are going to be, right? So right now, we're just following the count. We've gotten rejected from this down-sloping trend line. We should be finishing up in the fifth wave here and the first wave one. If this is the bullish count, the bearish scenario is, once again, that this is a C wave extension, and then you're going to come back down in a wave two, and you've gotten rejected already. And let me just drag this down a little bit more so it fits a little bit nicer. There we go. Something like that, essentially. And you've gotten rejected. And now you're going to come back down in a wave one. So if it becomes a wave one and it's impulsive, be on guard. Be on the defensive and be careful and be on crash alert, because we could very well take out all these gaps here that we've created and fill them all and even go even lower, right? It can get out of hand pretty quickly. So right now we had NVDA earnings after hours. They were down 5 to 6%, and then they were bought out, buy the dip, buy it up, buy. They pushed it all the way up to like 510 or something, I believe. And then right now, it's falling back down, basically flat to negative on just like their guidance at the moment is not that strong, or they're having some trouble with sales in China. I don't know. I'm not really following it, but overall, we'll have to see if it opens lower tomorrow, opens higher. I get a very influential stock in the market, so yeah. Anyways, I'm still following the IWM here. It looks like it started its potential wave 3. We'll have to see a bit more of an impulsive wave here. If not, then this is maybe an ABC, right? And we can maybe come back up to the top of the range once again. So you can still do this, right? So don't be surprised if the IWM does something like that and it just goes in a extended wave 2. Obviously, maybe you won't take out the pivot, but you'll get pretty close to it and you'll double top and then you come down. But overall, it should be on its way down now. You can see that the 45-minute and the 1 hour is showing a possible bottom here, which means that the stochastics are ready to maybe get one final move up. But the larger time frames, like the 4 hour, right, and the daily, they look finished and they look ready to go lower. So that's why I'm thinking that this is maybe the beginning of the impulsive wave down, but we'll follow it closely. So right now everything's going according to plan. Not always going to go according to plan, but if it does keep coming down, and then you should essentially come back down to this buy area for the wave 3 bottom of wave 1, and then you will finish up the wave 3 here. You'll fill this gap, and then you'll get a nice bounce back up. You should bounce up to maybe retest this resistance, or maybe the previous gap fill, open here, and then you'll come back down, and then you'll finish up in a fifth wave back to the lows at 162. And I know it seems very unlikely, right? Because we're so high up, it's so bullish, and the rates are gonna go down, and it's only good news from here, right? So why we're gonna melt up in the S&P? But again, just follow the charts. I follow the IWM. Leading indicator for where the market's heading, right? Speculative money goes into small caps, right? Not the mega caps. The mega caps are for people who want to buy the dip and just float up with the market. But overall, we'll see. We'll take it day by day. Right now, the SPY on for some reason the Elliott wave indicator is now recounted this on the daily and showing it as a possible 5-wave move like this. I don't know if I would call this a wave 4 because it's so small, and they're calling this entire move a wave 1. But essentially, if this is a B wave top here and you're going to come down, then you're getting pretty darn close to it because the momentum waves on the daily are starting to curl in. They're losing a lot of momentum, and you could be getting ready for a leg down in the C leg, which could take you as low as 370, right? Or at the very least, maybe 405. Same thing for the triple Qs. The Qs would actually start in ABC, but overall, you actually have a red dot today on the triple Qs. The IWM, very pretty damn close to a red dot as well on the daily. I don't think the futures have printed a new candle, not yet. They're probably going to print one in 1 hour, but I'm not making a video in the next hour, so I got someone coming over. But overall, the market seems to be losing a little bit of steam here. We'll have to follow it closely to see if it keeps mooning or keeps breaking out, or if we start to capitulate. All right, daily time frame, nothing new, nothing on the 4 hour, nothing on the 1 hour on wave edge. No more selling. Not really seeing more selling. At the moment, the Qs, I think we got a little bit of selling, but not on the triple Qs, maybe on like the NASDAQ here or the 1 hour, the 4 hour. I wasn't too sure. I think I went on some smaller time frames and I was just checking some stuff out. Oh, you got a red cross here today on the daily time frame, so possible short on the futures. Same thing for the NASDAQ here, and I think we got one on the Qs as well. So maybe we'll get the downside that we're expecting, or maybe we won't. Anyways, I'm still would be bearish here. I wouldn't be longing at all at these levels. And I know I said that down here, and then we still gapped up right on 3%. But again, are you when you're buying here? You got to ask yourself, are you chasing? I'm expecting the price to just keep going up another 12%, right? Which is the entire index, right? Or you got to take a look at where you've come from, right? You've come up 13%. All these people that bought down here, do you think they're going to be holding, expecting another 13%? No, they're probably going to be selling and taking their profits as well, right? Because that's what smart traders do, and that's why you're seeing a lot of selling. And you're seeing the same thing on the dark pools, the VIX, right? VXX, lots of dark pool trades happening, lots of buying happening in a shorter time frame. So they are buying protection right now. Let me take a look at some individual names, and then we'll take a look at natural gas, oil, and we'll take a look at gold as well. Gold getting a nice little pullback as well here. But overall, we'll take a look at ROKU. So ROKU, yesterday I mentioned that we might be finished in its wave 5 here. So we get on some smaller time frames. You can see that we started the wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now it's starting to potentially end. So now you might be in your A wave, right? So you might be starting to do something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. I drew that really badly, but overall it's something like that. And you should come back down in an A wave, then bounce in a B, and then come back down in a C leg. And the C leg can extend. Just be aware of that. And you can also even have overshooting B waves, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to see if we see crazy price actually in ROKU. But overall, you got bearish divergence. Yeah, you're overbought along with the whole market. So if the market starts to pull back, you'll probably start to see ROKU come down a little bit too. Let's take a look at PayPal. PayPal right here. Struggling today, obviously, down 2%, 2.79%. It actually looks like it's invalidated the wave 1 here. So maybe it'd have to be a smaller count, and we could have missed it. Maybe something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and it was already finished, right? We had a target here at $60, but it doesn't always hit. And if if PayPal's finished here, then you could start to come back down significantly lower, right? You could start your final wave 5 towards the downside, which would be very bad. And again, it would mean a longer term bottom to develop, but these larger cycle bottoms take longer to play out. right? And the daily stochastics, you can see they're starting to move down. Same thing for the 4 hour, they're starting to move down too. The smaller time frames like the 45 have bottomed out, but I don't like the price action. You know, consolidating at the lows here, you could just break lower and keep going lower. So again, that's not something I really like to see. But we'll take it day by day on PayPal. Let me take a look at Apple. So Apple had a nice little down day as well. Not too much. Essentially, it was bought up as well. You can see the stochastics very overbought. A 4 hour starting to come down already. It should be finishing this wave 2 here, and then once it's finished, you could really start to come back down. And again, Apple is a very big stock, the biggest stock on the market. It's a market moving one. So once this one starts to go down, it's a leading indicator for all the other mega caps and all the other stocks as well. So essentially like the S&P, right? The Apple is kind of like the S&P almost. Amazon, it's at resistance as well. Not making too much of it. I don't have any counts here. I haven't done Amazon yet. Let me take a look at. I don't want to take a look at Tesla. Let me take a look at Meta. So Meta actually almost touched our trend line here, getting very overbought as well. But we'll have to see if it comes down. It's a very strong stock. Charts look strong, but yeah, it could be just another very larger pattern ABC correction, just like the market, just like the Nasdaq and the S&P. Let me take a look at oil now. So oil came down very nicely, got a huge bounce off the lows here. It should be coming up for one leg higher, maybe back up to 81 or to 83, and then you could finish maybe the wave 4. And after that, you could very well continue the leg down, in a wave 3 or wave 5, which would take you down to like 66, 67, something like that in that range. But overall, I'm not in any rush to make any trades on oil right now. We'll have to see what OPEC does. There's an OPEC meeting coming up, so that could shift the markets. Natural gas doing some backing filling, obviously. Just making higher lows and higher highs. It should be coming down in this. I would like it to come down into this buy area and touch this trend line, maybe around $2.75, $2.78, and then you should continue to trend up. You should continue to trend higher. The moving average is looking good on the daily. The weekly pattern's looking okay too. I don't like how it's you're starting to lose momentum on the MACD, but the monthly looks good. Monthly looks really good. Just doing some backing filling. You've got a huge move in the last 3 months in natural gas. It's only natural. You'll do some retraces. But yeah, overall, long-term bullish on natural gas. Let's take a look at wheat. Wheat actually firmed up a little bit today. You actually came back down to the lows. You made a new low, and now you're spiking back up. We'll take a look to see if we saw any buying on wheat. And the daily, yep, there you go. You see high volume buying. Whales accumulating at the lows and then pushing up the price. So wheat's looking good. 4 hour, they've been accumulating for a while. Haven't had any significant moves yet. Weekly looking good. Again, this is a monthly chart pattern. So again, this is for a longer cycle low. And actually, look at that. You actually have a monthly green cross here. So that's very positive for wheat overall the long term. And I expect it to go much higher as we slowly enter a larger commodity super cycle, right? All right. Let me just finish up here about talking about the markets. So it's important to stay on the cautious side right now. Crypto is falling apart, right? Crypto can't even get in front of. I wouldn't even get in front of crypto right now, and it's really difficult to try a long crypto, especially after it's such in an overbought condition. But all hell might break loose in crypto, and it might not end well for those people who are long it right now. So overall, the markets remain overbought, waiting for a correction. We'll have to see if it's a short one or a big one, or on what scale, how long it's going to take. But overall, once it begins, it will dictate the path for probably next year and for essentially you know, the remainder of this cycle, right? So it's either gonna be an extension of the B wave, and we go higher, right, to 530 to 510 to essentially is maybe 540 at these levels, or it turns out to be a complete you know, meltdown as well, not a melt up, and you start to go significantly lower. You take out the October lows that we actually put in 2023. It's funny because we put in October lows here, and we're putting October lows in here, and a lot of people are expecting the same thing. We're just going to keep moving up forever, right? Economic conditions don't matter. A lot of things don't matter, but overall, yeah, it's interesting. We live in some crazy times, and these big moves here are, you know, very impulsive. That you know, go up very quickly over a short period of time are known as bear market rallies. And I don't want to get into arguments with people because these are facts, and you know, people may disagree because they're biased, right? They're very long, you know, at the lows, and they don't want it to end, right? But all good things come to an end, right? Even these massive, huge rallies from the lows, everything comes to an end eventually, right? Nothing lasts forever. But overall, you guys know where I'm positioned in the markets. I don't think this will continue for much longer, and once it comes down, then we'll have to see how it ends up. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.